you will have like more and more people trying to connect with you, inviting you in their shows, or having interviews and questions. That can be content pieces as well. It's more about the person that you want to help, and that is why you are in this business. Brainstorm these ideas, and then you can authentically share the realist you, right? So now the brand is built, your reputation is built at scale. So I think the best decision again is having a goal, reverse engineering, and then finding out the content pillars that serves the purpose towards the goal, and then you can be authentically you, generate those 100 home buyers that will really be the type of people that you want to work with. That's what fulfillment would look like. Six. Quick story about my content creation journey and why consistency doesn't mean that you have to push yourself. So I think this is the basis of this video. And also by this, I'm also going to be showing you that how you can create one single piece of content that is maybe like 20-30 minutes long, and then you can get 5 to 6 more content pieces, which can get you distribution across all social media platforms. That can be the brand that you build, and then connect it with a lead focused, like lead focused content machine on the front end. So you generate leads on the back end. More about the content creation side, right? So let's first start with that. Let me check if I have my audio in place. All right. So 2018, I first started creating content. So that was the first time I actually, put down, I had like a Micromax or Motorola, right? A Motorola smartphone, and I did not have a tripod, but I thought, what, I will start content creation. And I started creating things that I loved to talk about. I mean, but I did it in a scripted way, because I was more focused on how can I make it, professional. Professional. How can I make it like, really good editing? I put down a lot of time to put down one. But then, the process that I liked doing was more like sharing my message. And I was not self-aware at that point. So my genuine interest was sharing a message, and then sharing something that I love to share, and then maybe like research it and then learn about it and then share the message. That's what I love to do. But when it comes to the actual process of sharing the message, 80% of that process is you sitting down, putting down time, to edit the videos and then upload it. And then you again get back to the process that you love. So the main thing that you possibly as a business owner, because at that point I did not know that I had this mindset of, I want to just focus on, building something. I was just exploring myself, exploring my interests, so to say. So at that point I was not aware. But right now I am aware of the fact that this is who I am. So most probably, if you are in the business side, right? So if you're a business owner, then of course, as a mortgage broker, you are in a business, you're an entrepreneur. So your focus will never be on content production, like post-production of the content. You will never like it. I trust me on this. I think I can take a bet that you will not like the process. And if you like the process, then you would not be a mortgage broker. So even I don't like the process. I can do it. I really can do a good job on it, but I don't like the process. And that is the problem. It is time consuming, which with no immediate or long-term returns, so to say, right? So in the same time, you can focus on other things that can give you higher returns in terms of building relationships, learning more things that's more interesting than, upping up your game, right? So what happened is I uploaded about 20 videos. And then I gained about 280 subscribers. It was really fast. Everyone was sharing my videos. And I lost interest because 85% of the process was not something that I like doing. And going through the process again and again and doing the edits, it's not something that I like. Now, this can be a question of my persistence, my grit, but I'm not that person. So self-awareness and then accepting that who you are and then working on that metric is a much better role. So for example, there was 2 ways out of it. Now, if I look back, I know that there's 2 ways out of it. One, if you don't like to go through the 85% of the process of post-processing the content creation, then either you hire someone who can do that process for you, and then you can only focus on doing what you love, or else you decrease the, the time consumption that it takes. So instead of just putting like 4 or 5 hours of edit into one video, which is like maybe 5 minutes long, you can just put down like, 1 hour, like 30 minutes, 45 minutes into it, so that it's nothing, like it's almost equal, and it's okay, you know what, I can do it. And you can do more of the thing that you love. The way you can bring that time from 5 hours, 6 hours to 30 minutes, 40 minutes is by not focusing on how other people will judge. Like, how can I make it even more interesting? How can I make it like, add VFX, add like transitions and everything? It's not needed. Sound effects and stuff. So if you like to do it, then of course you have to pay the cost that it might not get more people in, but at least you will be consistent. And so it might, if you do it well, then maybe you could have gotten like 10 times more. But if you went to if you chase that metric, then chances are that you will not be consistent. So anyways, you will not get there. So it's just a number that makes logical sense, but realistically it will not make sense because you're not that person, if that makes sense. on the other hand, if you do it yourself and you have to do it for quite some time, for example, my journey right now, the last 1 year, I have done this myself, right? So I did not focus on anything else. No editing, no effects, nothing. I just want to like remove the parts that I absolutely don't want. And that takes like hardly like 30 minutes, listen to the entire thing and then upload. That's it, right? I don't focus on anything else because that is not what I like to do. Now I'm going to be taking on team members and stuff like that, and they will be doing it for me, but that is totally fine because this is where I built my consistency, where I got to a point where these content that I just created now builds connections for me because it's authentic, more focused on the type of person I am. So now when people reaches out to me or I outreach and then lead with my YouTube that, hey, this is me on YouTube, the chances of them responding and accepting or even like acknowledging that, okay, you know what, this is a viable connection is immensely high because there is consistency, proven consistency in front of them, right? So that is a way to do it. Now the second thing that helps me keep up this consistency and not focus on the judgments is like the macro, like Gary Vee talks about macro and micro. So the macro is more like, okay, where are we going? There is an end goal in mind inside, so that everything else in the like the small time frame doesn't matter as much. So what is my end goal? Like I gave myself a goal that, hey, at that point of time when I started creating the content, I never did cold calls, right? So I thought, you know what, in my life, I'm doing this. So why not put down a goal for me, which was 100 appointments. I thought 100 appointments is like a huge, like a big number, but I knew that this was going to be possible. So I said, okay, 100 appointments. Let me just document myself doing 100 appointments and taking that challenge up and then uploading it. I could not even upload all 100. I probably even did not book 100 myself. Like, after I did 70, at that point of time, I had like so much, people, so many people, like after I did like 70 or something, I had so many people watching that they really wanted to connect with me. And there's other different types of communities being developed, different connections coming up towards me. And then the reputation increased and there was like opportunities coming towards me just by the 30th upload, 30th appointment upload. And so that is where I would say, like, you can also do it if you are just starting as an MLO, right? That, okay, or just anyone, right? Agency owner or you're a mortgage broker, anyone really. Maybe like you have a goal in mind that is unachievable for you at the moment, or you feel like, you know what, this is the next target for me. For me, it was like zero to first, right? How can I get the first appointment sitting in India, calling someone in the US and booking them on a phone call, which I never did in my life. That was a challenging thing for me. So now take up a challenge and then maybe put down a number that this is what I want to achieve. And I want to document everything that I have to go through to do that. And then what happens is, instead of creating, you can start focusing on documenting. So what do I have to do now? Reversing here. Let's say you want to have like 100 loans given out this year. Like, okay, people use production values in mind. Let's say your production value that you want to go is more like 20 million, right? So 20 million or 50 million. So 50 million in productions. How many homes do I have to? How many houses do I have to sell? Right? How many deals needs to be closed? The number of deals are possibly like 330, like 150, right? So close to 150. Let's say 150 homes. Let's round it up to 100, right? So lower end 100. So 100 homes has to be closed. So that is my goal. So this year I'm trying to close 100. I want to help 100 home buyers to get their dream home in the easiest and fastest way possible and avoid all the challenges that they might face along the way, right? And that can be a really good thing that you can focus on. Now, then we imagine, okay, there is 100 home buyers who are dealing with me. Like, now we visualize that 100 home buyers wants to buy a home from me in my state. Let's say these are the states I'm licensed in. So 100 home buyers wants to buy from me. Then how many do I need? I just need to reach those 100 people. And I want to reach those 100 people every day, all times, right? So we don't need to go for views. We just need to go and focus on those 300 people. Now understand, okay, what are those 300 people comprised of? Like, how many types of people might be there? What are the challenges they might face? Then, okay, these are the challenges that I see that people faces. So let me make a series where I talk about challenges that you might face while buying a home in this state, uh, and how to avoid them, right? So this is like maybe a home buyer's guide. If you are in Kansas, Missouri, so it's like Missouri home buyer's guide to home ownership, right? So that's a series where you just talk for 20 minutes about one topic, and then you chop it off and distribute in all social media platforms so that you can find those 100 people so that they can get value from it. They come to you or not is not the expectation as in this process, but that happens as the outcome of you doing the work that is needed. So the purpose of this is to help them avoid the challenges. And this is like, this series is for that. What other things do they need? How to get reliable realtors. So realtor connections. So you build realtor connections and you, bring very valuable realtors, and then you share their point of views and you give them a chance in your podcast or your distribution network, your brand, to showcase what they can bring value, like how much value they can bring, in what way do they help, so that again, you are no more chasing realtors; they are chasing you because you're building leverage. So that is also another guide where you can bring realtors in that state who are really doing good, and not just in numbers, but also in ethics and intention that matches with you, so that the type of home buyers that you want to help and how you want to help, that aligns with these realtors as well. So anyone reaching out to you, they will know, hey, you know what, this person has a realtor that I think I will get help from, and she or he can connect me with that person. This is another angle, another type of content. Third type of content can be taking questions from the market. Okay, you know what? Let me go and find questions that people are asking, home buyers are asking in that market, and then let me make a series where I answer those questions. And then slowly you can turn it into a Q&A where people will hop on calls and then give you these questions, right? Or do it in live, or do it as a live, or they submit the questions and then you answer this in that show. So this is another third type of content piece, right? One more thing that can be done is you speak with other people in your market to find out the recent challenges that they are facing in separate cases, and then you specifically talk about that case. Hey, this is the case that's going on, tell me about that, like, and you interview them, and then you share your 2 cents, and they share their process and how you guys are dealing with those loans. Like, that can be a topic. Of course, you have to look into compliance. You cannot share everything else. You cannot share everything, but you can share a lot of things which can be better than nothing. So that can be a fourth content pillar. And if you just do these four for like consistently over a period of time, you will get more content ideas. More people are going to reach out to you once the brand gets established. And then you will have like more and more people trying to connect with you, that will like inviting you in their shows, or having interviews and questions. That can be content pieces as well, right? So that is how you can look at it. In this process, what happens, your intentions are pure. What happens is, like, you love the process because it's more about the person that you want to help, and that is why you are in this business. So it's no more like, okay, let me script it down, let me find what people are searching, script it down, and then read the script, learn the script, and say it, which is not you. But in fact, it's your personal goal that you're chasing. You don't care about any judgments because you're going towards your purpose. The intentions are clear. You reverse engineer from there, and we find out angles. Hey, this is how we can do it. Once you do it, it's game over, right? So you don't feel the challenge of having to create new things every day, because these are always going to be there. Realtors are always going to be available. You can always test more things. You can always have conversations about new cases that's coming in. You can always find questions. We are overthinkers, right? So your mind has everything in it, right? So you just need to think, share, or else have someone ask these questions to you, so that you can just brainstorm these ideas, and then you can authentically share the realist you, and then that can be distributed across all platforms, right? So now the brand is built, your reputation is built at scale. So instead of you trying to have connections with the home buyers one by one, or realtors one by one, which takes like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 1 hour here and there, plus driving, and then coming back, you put that same time, and then you reach more and more people at scale. So your reputation times 100. And then by the end of year, if we have 1 year to reach just 100 home buyers, it's going to be super easy, right? It's all about distribution, and it's all about authenticity. So just being yourself, and then building that lead focused content machine. And here, the lead focused part is like the outcome of the purpose, right? So this is what we do in cold calling. So when we are calling someone, our goal is not to get a booked meeting. The meeting is the end goal that comes as the outcome of doing the purpose properly. And that is making sure they are understood, making sure the person gets clarity and they feel understood. Once they do, and then we ask something automatically as a result of it, because it's a really good conversation and communication has been done well, that is the reason the outcome of it is an automatically booked meeting, right? That is how we train our team, right? I train my team. That's what I say then. Hey, you know what? Don't have desperation, because that always comes, the outcome will always come when the purpose has been served. But if you don't serve the purpose and the focus is only on the outcome, then the outcome will be, it'll be manipulative, and it'll be forced outcome, which is not good for anyone. So similarly, in the content side as well, if you put the purpose on the front end, the outcome automatically is like a bonus, and it's like a surprise, right? And then everything falls into. If I had this perspective 6 years back, then I would have had 6 years worth of compounding as a leverage with me, right? Which I don't have right now. And even then, I started again in 2020, right? And then again, it was scripted. It was a different type of videos. It was animation type videos, but it was scripted. So I don't like scripts. And that is where comes self-awareness. So first step, self-awareness, and that comes as you keep on going. So I think the best decision, again, is having a goal, reverse engineering, and then finding all the content pillars that serves the purpose towards the goal, and then you can be authentically you. And then you have someone in the back end, you hire them yourself, or you work with someone like us, And then that can be distributed across all social media platforms at scale that will generate those 100 home buyers that will really be the type of people that you want to work with. And that's what fulfillment would look like.